Hope all is well. This is Chris with That Square Sports Podcast, and today we're talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars mock draft. This is before the Super Bowl, so I will change my mind at least 3 or 4 times and no trades. But let's dive in, shall we? At number 5, I got you guys getting Mason Graham, defensive tackle, or, nose tackle, pretty much whichever they want to have him in. He is the best lineman in this draft. As projected, I think that Prince is actually better, and we'll talk about that too when we get to him. However, I like Mason Graham. Good fit. I think the Jaguars need help in a lot of areas. However, as I dive into this draft, I think this can help them out a lot going, not just for next season, but the seasons to come. And you start by getting this piece right here on your defensive line due to the fact that if you look at the AFC South and their division, I think that for them, they just want to win their division. And right away, you got to get players that can really disrupt C.J. Stroud. Will Levis and them don't really have a – Tennessee Titans don't have a quarterback. Anthony Richardson, they run the ball a lot. So it's kind of one of those in-divisional picks before we worried about outside the division picks. And that's the same thing with going on with Princely here out of Ole Miss at edge as well. Great football player, big guy, 6'4". All of them are pretty big when I talk about these next few guys on defense. And a lot of you are probably saying, well, you need offensive line. Not right now. I think you get that later in the draft. Right now in the draft, I'm looking more so of coverage and edge rushers and run stoppers. That's what I think you guys need right now. Your linebacking core doesn't look bad, but Princely brings that inside, solidifies, does not really kind of kick back and play the linebacker a little bit. He's more just strictly 3-point stance, hand in the dirt. That's just who he is, and that's fine. You got 2 guys you can go after. You can actually push Princely inside as well with Mason Graham and have 2 defensive tackles and defensive nose guards if you wanted to do that and run that type of defense. With that being said, Denzel Burke out of Ohio State, another guy, good corner to help out in your secondary, and that's pretty much how I see it right then and there. Burke, he can do good in man coverage, good in zone, however you want to play it. I think he's going to be a great role player to help you guys out right away effectively. Potential starter maybe by week 8 or 9 in the draft in the season next year. I could see that. All right, now let's get cute on offense. With Christian Kirk, a lot of these guys who are offensively on the Jags, a lot of things could happen in the all-free agency where you could lose a lot of pieces for Trevor Lawrence. Why not go ahead and grab Tez Johnson at 88? I like that because it's a 3rd-round pick. And Tez Johnson just is a gadget receiver / can be a number 1 receiver. That's what he was at Oregon. He just finds ways to get the ball in his hands. So that's what I love about him. Dylan Fairchild, oh, yeah. Big Dylan Fairchild out of the University of Georgia, offensive line. You guys want to get back to running the ball? That's probably what you need to do if you're the Jaguars because Trevor Lawrence will turn the ball over. I like Anthony Belton and Dylan Fairchild. These 2 guys right here on your offensive line right away could be potential 5 to 6 year men at the offensive line position. Depends on how good they become right away. I don't think that you need to go all out on your center. I think it's more so guard and tackle is what you need right now for the Jags. Because I'm just looking, you guys are getting beat off the edge right away before the play snaps. You're just killing Trevor Lawrence. And I know, like I said earlier in the draft for you guys, why wouldn't we take offensive line right away? I just believe that defensively you need more help You need more help on defensive side than you do the offensive side. We've seen Trevor Lawrence do what he can do. So if we get him some offensive linemen that are actually younger, legit, I think maybe we could do something. Because, Trevor Lawrence can extend some plays with his legs. He's got height on him, can move around. You know what I mean? That being said, we've switched back to defense with Lander Barton out of Utah, sideline to sideline. Really, really good backer. I think that he is a better off as a run stopper and could roll over to safety if he loses about 10, 12 pounds, which is going to be hard to do. Well, not the NFL. Then again, they got people that's paid to do stuff like that. But I like him there. He can kind of do a little bit of both, safety, linebacker. Very occasionally you see him rush the passer. That's really not his strong suit. He's more of a ball hawk and can get down. He can stop the run. Don't get it twisted. He does a little bit of that too as well. But I see him more of as a rover, safety type, eventual linebacker going into the league. And that's fine. I like that as well. Kyle McCourty. This is your future quarterback, Jacksonville, whether you like it or not. Kyle McCourty, man, out of Syracuse, the Ohio State transfer, who basically turned his whole entire career around at Syracuse. Guy can let it fly, let it rip, can run, do everything. He's just a really, really, really Swiss Army knife type quarterback. You don't know what you're getting from him. It's going to be hard to study his film, especially in the NFL, because he's going to be more of an all-around type QB. Yes, he can throw the 5-yard, he can throw the 15, he can throw the 25, he can throw the deep ball. He can, and I think in the draft, especially in the combine, he's going to definitely shoot up the ranks a lot more, him and Jackson Dart, due to the fact that they just went to schools that were not, I wouldn't say they weren't small schools, because Syracuse is a pretty known school. It just, they were rebuilding programs. You know what I mean? Like a rebuilding program. That's what I look at Syracuse like. It's trying to get its identity back to the Donovan McNabb days and stuff like that. And with that being said, Kyle McCourty did his job there. He served his purpose. Thank you for your service. But I would love to see him in this offense. I think that this would be nice. You could kindly go to the RPOs. You can run that with them. Whatever you guys plan on doing with Travis Etienne, we'll talk about that too as an insurance pick as well. Now, another receiver that will probably go up in the ranks too. Like I said, I'm going to change my mind a lot. We got a lot of time until the draft comes. My finalized stuff will probably be in more so April than it will be of March, April. But right now, the rough draft, I like Pat Bryant going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. For the simple fact of the reason is this guy is just a yard getter. Like, he just gets open. He just finds ways to just continue to be a great asset to the quarterback. He understands when the play breaks down, improvisation is amazing for this guy. And he went to Illinois, right? So you're not thinking Illinois for offensive players except for the Juice Williams days. You know, I'm young enough for that, Rashard Mendenhall, you know. But Pat Bryant is actually one of those guys that you can leave him he could just be on the own side of his field and he can find a way to get open. And really, a lot of that, I want you to kind of look at it. Ohio State game, Michigan game, Nebraska game, even in the bowl game. Guy did great. Like, I was kind of surprised on how good Pat Bryant really was. And I'm not going to sit here and say that Illinois is just some school that's putting them out like that. But don't get it twisted. Pat Bryant will be a steal in this draft. I don't expect him to be a number one wide receiver, nothing like that. More of a 3-2 type receiver. I don't see him in the slot. I don't want him to be there. I think he's too skinny for that. I think he gets hit one good time, and that's the end of that. I like him more so on the outside, you know, kind of that bunch package, the trips and stuff. I like that where he's at. All right, then Kyle McGlooney out of Rutgers, great running back. He knows how to get yards. He will be a complimentary back to Travis Etienne if he stays, or Bixby, however you guys want to keep that going on for you guys over in Jacksonville. But I do like him as well as a running back. I think he fits this scheme perfectly fine. Runs in between the tackles exceptionally well. Bouncing outside, that's not his thing, but that second level speed that he has, Jesus Christ, will have you saying, man, where the hell why did he go to Rutgers? It had to be for the NIL money. But with that being said, that is your draft. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. By all means, bro, hey, look, I'm not afraid. Tell me how you feel. Peace.